Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to King Arena here on campus at Wheaton College. I'm Nate Steiner alongside Hannah Japp. You're watching the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network. This season, Wheaton Athletics is proud to partner with Realty Executives as the exclusive sponsor of replays on our broadcast. We're happy to welcome Eric Logan, Becky Vanderveen, and the Energized team to the Wheaton Athletics family and extend a special thank you to them for partnering with us to enhance our WTSN broadcast. CCIW volleyball tonight between the Wheaton Thunder and the North Park Vikings. Thunder are 3-12, 0-2 in the CCIW. The Vikings 10-6, also 0-2 in the CCIW. Both teams going to look for their first conference win tonight on the season.
Yes, both teams are looking for their first win. To be in contention for the CCIW, you need to be in the top 4 in your conference, and a win tonight is crucial for both sides. This past week, Wheaton had a little rough week with playing against 2 nationally ranked teams at the home opener on Tuesday, which was also their first conference match. They dropped 3 sets to Millikan, and then they went to University of Chicago, who is also nationally ranked, and they weren't able to get the win there. And then on Friday, they played against North Central, who, with their very strong offense, were not able to get the win there. But we are looking for a great opportunity tonight for the Thunder to get their first win in the conference and get them on a roll.
Yeah, as you said, the Thunder are playing a very difficult schedule as of late. 2 teams that are in the playoff picture for the CCIW right now. And before we get started, we're going to send it down to the court for the national anthem and the starting lineup. We'll be right back.
Good evening, finally, and welcome to tonight's conference match with the North Park Vikings and your Wheaton College Thunder. Here are the starters. Here are the starters of the North Park Vikings. Number 2, Nikki Alstrand. Number 7, Mackenzie Brewer. Number 14, Lauren Medilsi. Number 17, Ricky Garcia. Number 22, Katja Meyer. And number 23, Kelly Clinton. Head coach for the North Park is Natalie Dietz. And now let's start with your Wheaton College Thunder. Number 4, freshman from San Diego, California, Audrey Irwin. Number 6, a sophomore from Central Point, Oregon, Ellie Brown. Number 12, a senior from Holland, Michigan, and the captain of the Thunder, Emily Potts. Number 15, a junior from Carroll Street, Illinois, Kelly Thornton. Number 16, a sophomore from Tequesta, Florida, Madeline Moore. And number 8, a senior out of Japan, Katie Rohr. The libero of the Wheaton College Thunder is Jess Foss. Head coach for Wheaton is Stephanie Schmidt. She is assisted by Emily Brewer. At this time, we ask that you please stand for the playing of the national anthem.
And we are back, just moments away from this match getting underway. One thing to pay attention to tonight is the defensive effort from the North Park Vikings. We look at the offensive numbers between these two squads, and they're pretty similar, but then you go down to defense, you see the digs and blocks. 880 digs on the season for the Vikings compared to 687 for the Thunder, and 91 blocks for North Park compared to 73 for Wheaton. So the Thunder need to remember never to give up on one of these points. Even if it looks like that ball is going into the stands, you never know what's going to happen with this Viking squad.
You never know with volleyball. Even one little extra oomph of effort, you can keep a ball up. With North Park, they're going to have a scrappy defense by looking at the numbers, lots of digs, and lots of blocks. Find the guy. The Thunder need to get that ball on North Park side and inbounds where they're not.
The referees checking the lineups. This match, one of 3 in the CCIW tonight around the conference. You have North Central down in Decatur facing off against Milliken, and then you also have Elmhurst out in Rock Island facing off against Augustana.
Lots of games going on. We have 3 teams in the CCIW who are undefeated, which is, I believe, Milliken, Carthage, and Illinois Wesleyan, and 3 teams 1-1, and then we have 3 that are still looking for their first win.
Yeah, so far, no upsets, you could say, in the CCIW. The team's pretty much doing what they're supposed to. That, of course, could change. We've seen both North Central and Milliken in the last week, so that game could get pretty interesting down in Decatur.
It could get very interesting. Also, for tonight, it could be interesting as well, because last season, the Thunder were at North Park, and they were able to defeat the Vikings 4 sets. They went 3-1, and the first 2 sets were by scores of 28-26, 25-16. So it was a little bit back and forth, and we'll see how tonight goes.
Leading things off is Kasha Meyer for the Vikings. Moore's going to send this one over with the roll shot. Meyer sets this one to the backside, swung on by Krieger. Good effort by the Thunder to keep that one alive. This time it's Wiltsey. Picked up by Moore, set for Rohrer. She's looking for that deep corner, and that one sails out on her.
As we're in the opening point tonight, as we see by the nice swing by Wiltsey, Moore, great effort to keep that ball up. Nice job by Thornton to keep the ball going, and just the ball sails out of bounds.
So Meyer will continue to serve the slide to Potts, and that one is in on the back line.
Nice swing by Potts. Great run by the Thunder by running her on the backside with the slide. And the block wasn't able to keep up.
So it'll be Jackie Bolris back to serve for the Thunder. Picked up by Riccolo, the libero. And a nice tip off the hand of Wiltsey, and that one will get down.
Wiltsey had a nice adjustment there. Looked like she was coming in a little bit early, but she slows down a little bit and is able to get the nice off-speed kill.
Wiltsey sends this one across at Moore. Thornton gives it to Moore on the outside, swung on. Wiltsey picks it up off the ceiling, and the Vikings can't keep that one alive.
Nice hard swing by Moore. As we see on this replay, nice pass on the outside, going across, and Wiltsey gets the dig up, but it goes in the rafters, so the Vikings lose in the ceiling.
Boss to serve, nobody up on the swing out of the middle, and that one is put down strong by Nikki Allstrand.
Allstrand, nice swing. As we see by many CCIW schools, they like to establish their middles, especially on ones. So quick tempo pace right now.
The Thunder trying to quick to the backside. Rohrer couldn't put it away. Now picked up by Bolris outside for Moore. Off the block and up. Backside swing into the block. Vikings keep it alive. Boss is there. Moore going back corner, and that one is in.
Nice block by the Thunder. North Park scrambles a little bit to keep the ball alive. As we can see, as Thornton goes to the outside, Moore is able to find the very back corner, and she's able to get that kill. And Alicia Funk is now going to serve.
Funk sends this one over, goes right at Riccolo, the libero. The tip deep, but there's going to be a Thunder player in the net. It's going to be Ellie Brown called for the violation.
The set was a little bit too tight to the net, so it looked like Brown was trying to go after the ball, but ended up finding herself in the net.
So the Vikings up 4-3 early on in the first set. Back to serve was Hua Pham. And the Thunder unable to control that one. Huafam will serve again.
Actually, North Park, overall for their season, they are currently ranked second in the CCIW for service aces with about 2.2 aces per set. So they're very strong at the line.
Huafam to send another one over. Bolris is there. Backside swing from Moore off the block, picked up by Wiltsey. And Wiltsey's going to roll this one over at Bolris. Smith this time, picked up by Riccolo, and a setter dump from Meyer. That one put away. The Vikings open up a 3-point lead.
As the ball's going over, nice pass by Bolris. Going to Smith. It gets a little touch in the block. Nice dig by the Vikings, and pulled the Thunder a little bit by surprise.
So Huafam once again serving, goes at Moore. She comes around for the combination, and that one straight down.
Very nice trick play by the Thunder. Great route. Moore just comes right in there and gets a nice, hard, fast swing. Nice kill by Moore.
So it'll be Moore back to serve now for the Thunder. Right at Riccolo. Into the middle, a slide almost from the left side into the middle. That's Kelly Clinton putting that one away.
That was a nice play by Clinton. They ran what's kind of like a J, which is a little bit like a slide, but they're still in front of the setter. So the setter sets about like a 1-tempo pace. You don't really see those very often in volleyball in matches, but usually if you do, it's during a serve-receive play.
The Vikings can keep their 3-point lead as Garcia serves. Irwin swinging from the left side. Huafam chasing it down but can't get there. Point Thunder.
That was a very nice clean swing by Irwin. Very nice good pass on the outside. Nice clean swing, and the Vikings were able to handle it.
So Brown back to serve for the Thunder. That one, miscommunication from the Viking back line. It will deflect off Riccolo. Ace point for the Thunder.
That was a nice float by Brown just to get another point for the Thunder.
So Brown once again. Hard float. This time picked up by Wiltsey. Swung out of the middle by Clinton. No block touch.
That was a nice idea by the Vikings to run their mills again, try to find the back corner. As we're looking on the replay right now. Picture perfect pass. Nice idea with the middle. Just goes out of bounds, and nice job on the Thunder, let it just go sailing out.
And the Vikings coming right back there. Swing from the outside is Wiltsey. So it will be Clinton back to serve. Goes at Irwin. Picked up by Funk, and Irwin can just pass that one over. Outside now for Wiltsey. And Boss can't track that one down. The Vikings back up by 2.
The Thunder weren't to convert a play on this round, and the Vikings take advantage of it with a nice hard kill coming from Wiltsey.
Clinton, however, gives it right back with the service error off the top tape, but can't roll it over. The Thunder back in their initial setting offense with Thornton and Rohrer back in the game now.
This has been a pretty close game so far. Both teams going back and forth. Currently, it's 9-8 with the Vikings ahead by 1.
Thornton sends this one over, picked up by Garcia. Swing from the right side. That was Allstrand. Now Rohrer. Riccolo is there. Back row swing from Wiltsey, but never got square to that one. It goes straight into the net.
Just a little bit offside. The set was a little bit off, and she tried to make an adjustment to get back over. Just wasn't able to go back over. Another point for the Thunder, and we're tied at 9.
Thornton drops this one in short. Wiltsey handles it. Tipped by Allstrand once again on that J set, something that we've seen from the Vikings twice now.
Yeah, well, they scored on the first time, so might as well try it again.
You can see a good run from Allstrand. High level of difficulty setting that from off the net for Meyer.
It is hard to set when it's off the net like that. It's not usually a clean play, but it was a great effort by Allstrand just to keep the ball alive and just tip it right over.
Back to serve is Barry for the Vikings. Out of the middle, Potts, huge swing. Great pickup by Riccolo. Tipped over by Wiltsey. Boss will set this one to Irwin on the left side. Cross-court swing. Vikings out of sorts, forced to pass it back over. Now swing from Rohrer on the backside. It'll be Wiltsey. And a nice roll shot on the misdirection from Wiltsey. Finds the sideline.
Yeah, the Thunder had some really strong not kills, but very strong attacks right there, and Rickla was just able to keep them up, and then the Vikings just did a nice roll it off-speed shot in the back corner, and was able to get the point.
The serve goes at Boss. Swung out of the middle by Irwin on the combination. Now Wiltsey on inside set. Boss is there to pick it up. Irwin swinging deep, handled by Garcia. Wiltsey sets it over. Potts out of the middle. Garcia there again. Moore gets that one off the Raptors, and you can see that one throws off the Thunder defense. That's the danger of the low ceilings here in King Arena.
Yeah, we've seen the ceiling come into effect quite a bit already in this match, and this rally was a very defensive one, but just very, very good passes and very hard swing by the Vikings, and the ball ends up in the ceiling.
Boss passes this one outside to Rohrer, into the block and through and down. Thunder draw back within 2.
Another kill for the Thunder. Rohrer was able to power through the block, and there was no one right behind the block to keep it up.
So Bolris will sub in for Irwin to go back and serve. This one handled by Garcia, swung on out of the middle, and Ahlstrand puts it away. Ahlstrand, this Vikings team leading killer on the season.
Yeah, Ahlstrand has been running different plays, such as ones. We saw a J a few times in there, and we also just saw her with a 3. There are lots of options used for the Vikings to use their middles.
Nice pass by Moore. Thornton rewards her by going back, and she puts it away.
Nice sharp cross by Moore. There wasn't a Viking player on the sideline, so she was able just to get past the defense and find the inside of the court.
So now it'll be Boss to serve for the Thunder. Drops this one in short, handled by Riccolo. Ahlstrand out of the middle. Bolris is there, but it's an overpass. Vikings reset, and a double contact gonna be called. Point Thunder, and they're within 1 now.
Yeah, nice job by Bolris just to keep the ball up. That was a nice hard swing, and the pass was a little bit tight to net, and the Viking setter wasn't able to handle it.
Outside now, swinging is Clement, and that one blocked straight down.
The Thunder have a very strong defense on their block, and they were able to close it up there and just put a solid block on.
And we're going to see another double contact. And right away now Meyer will come back in. Maddie Berry, the junior from Elgin, took over for a little bit, but Meyer, the team's leader in assists, will return to action now.
Yeah, it looked like she was trying to set another 3 on that play, but she was just a little bit too far behind her middle.
Rohrer with the swing, looking for that deep corner, but it sails it over everybody. Vikings tie this thing back up.
Just wasn't quite able to get enough snap on the ball to drive the ball down a little bit more. Instead, it just sails out of bounds.
Ahlstrand to serve, handled by Bolris. Swing out of the middle by Brown. Good cover by Moore. Now Rohrer on the right side, off the deflection, and that one's down.
Nice job by the Thunder to cover the first hit, set it back up, and get a nice kill for Rohrer.
So Funk and Smith return to action for the Thunder, and it'll be Funk back to serve right away. This one set to the outside, handled by Bolris. And a huge swing from Moore, and that one down and in.
That was a very nice clean swing by Moore. As we're looking on the replay, nice reaction by Boris. And then Moore runs with the 32, which he's not quite outside yet, outside of the court, but very nice play right there.
Meyer sets that one in the middle, swung on by Clinton, but right into the block. Thunder extend their lead out to 3, and we'll see a timeout from Natalie Dietz.
Yeah, the Thunder were able to finally, that was another J right there, and the Thunder block was ready they were set right in front of her, was able to get a nice block.
As this is something that's a pleasant surprise for Thunder fans watching this one at home or in the gym. Thunder have started really slow their past couple games here at home, and now late in the first set, up by 3, 17-14.
Yeah, seeing quite a few blocks. I'm actually seeing some nice plays run by the Thunder and executing them very well. There was a few balls that have gone out of bounds, but lots of times they've been finding the floor. We saw Potts on a couple slides. We saw Moore running a 32. Lots of different stack plays, switching them up. It's also coming back. We've also seen some good passing too, which has also helped quite a bit.
Yeah, and this could be a good sign for the Thunder if they can continue to play to this level with a pretty tough schedule coming up. They're at home again tomorrow night against Aurora. Then they face off with an Elmhurst team on the road after that. And looking ahead even farther, they have to go to Illinois Wesleyan, who's second in the conference behind Milliken, and is also ranked in the top 25 as of this week.
Yeah, Milliken's a good team, but also Illinois Wesleyan. That's what I wanted to talk about. They have some very strong hitters. Tyler Brown, very good offense. It's going to be also when you're on the road, it makes it a little bit more challenging.
This one handled by Wiltsey, swung on by Clinton on the slide. Tipped over now. That's off the hand of Smith. All Wiltsey can do is pass that one over. Bullrich there. Right side swing. Smith sets it over. Out of the middle is Clinton. Good read by Boss. Now Rohr swinging out of the middle. Brown, pardon me. Now Funk, I think, trying to set Brown. And a long rally there, finally ended, swung off the block.
Both teams were very scrappy on this rally. A little bit of miscommunication going on for both sides. We saw Boris laying out quite a few times just to keep that ball alive, and the Vikings were able just to take two off one of the hands of the Thunder.
So back to serve this time is Hua Pham. Nice swing out of the middle by Moore, but picked up by the Vikings. Wiltsey sends it over. Moore once again out of the middle, but sails that one just a little bit long.
We're seeing some very quick swings by Moore. The first one, it was channeled right to the Viking defense. They tried running it again with her. It just happened to go a little bit too far out of bounds.
So Hua Pham to serve again, goes at Moore, swung on out of the middle by Brown. Picked up by Wiltsey. Clinton tips it over. Moore trying to drop it in short, waiting there was Clement. Bowler's going to send this one over. Clement on the swing, no touch off the block, point Thunder.
Good job by the Thunder communicate that there was actually a first touch passing by, so just send it right over. And then, as you see, the ball goes out of bounds, and nice job by the Thunder to let it go.
So Moore to serve for the Thunder. Wiltsey with the pass, swung on by Clement, and she powers that one through the block and down.
Very hard swing by Clement, and I don't think the block was quite sealed over the net, so she was able just to power through and have it go down the block.
Garcia back to serve now for North Park. Vikings trying to come back down by just one. Goes at Irwin. Funk sends it back to Irwin off the block, and Riccolo can't get there. Thunder back up by 2.
Nice shot by Irwin to go down toward the line this time instead of across. As you see, Brownlee's running a 3. Irwin goes down the line.
Brown to serve, sends this one in at Garcia, and the setter dump pays off. Meyer, all she could do was tip that one over, and nobody home for the Thunder.
It was a quick turnaround right away. The ball was just tight, and the only thing the setter could do was take it over, and the Thunder were on their heels.
Serve goes at Irwin. Right side swung on by Smith. Now out of the middle, that was Allstrand. Back to Smith, into the block, good cover by Funk. Potts sends it over on 2. Meyer attempting the setter dump. Funk with a strong showing on defense. Smith into the block again. Moore sets it over. Hua Pham there. Joust at the net. Potts covers herself. Swung on by Irwin, but not enough on that one. It'll go into the net, and we're all tied up.
Lots of action at the net with lots of covers happening. And then we had a joust right there, and the Vikings were able to be the stronger one there.
Funk sets it outside to Irwin off the block. Sent over by Meyer. Now swing out of the middle. Potts blocked down by Allstrand, and the Vikings back on top by 1.
As we're looking at the replay, we see that the ball's a little bit tighter to the net, and just timing is a little bit off for Potts and Funk.
So now we'll see a timeout from Stephanie Schmidt and the Thunder. 2019, the Vikings on top as this first set winds down.
Still have a close match going on. We're seeing a lot of action in the net with blocks just going back and forth. Some are going down, some are just staying alive. Lots of also with the blocks, they have been set up pretty well. So you see balls, just hard-driven balls being channeled right to the defense, so which leads to longer rallies.
So trying to get the stats to pull up as we go down to Decatur and see what's going on around the CCIW. Milliken on top, 18-9 over North Central in the first set down there. So pretty much what you can expect. That's a really strong Milliken team.
Very strong Milliken team. They're the top in almost every single offensive category for the CCIW. And I believe they are currently ranked 15th in the D3. And actually, funny enough, Illinois Wesleyan is ranked 13th. So very strong teams. And it's a very strong CCIW.
So both teams back out on the court, awaiting confirmation from the referees to get things underway. Boss picks this one up. Moore has to roll it over. Meyer to the outside for Wiltsey. That one splits the block and is down. The Vikings open up a 2-point lead.
Nice job by Wiltsey just to have a nice swing with the thumb going down, so it's able to have a nice sharp cross.
Moore with the pass. Outside to Irwin. Wiltsey there. Allstrand just tips that one over the block. Good cover by Irwin, and nice job by Potts just flicking that one over. Swung on by Irwin into the block and off her shoulder and out of bounds. So the Vikings back on top by 3.
As you see on the play, the Viking defense on that block, they were just right there.
And right away, Coach Schmidt is going to take another timeout, trying to get a score from out in Rock Island, but seems like we're having a little bit of difficulty with their live stats, so we'll keep you updated if we can get anything from there. As we mentioned, Milliken handling North Central so far in that first set.
Yep, so lots of action going on with the CCIW. We have a close match here in King-Aringa, and Milliken being no surprise where they are right now.
Yeah, the Thunder trying to slow down a 8-2 run that the Vikings are on right now. The Thunder were up 17-14 when Coach Dietz took her first time out, and since then the Vikings have been pretty much untouchable.
Very much. It's been more, I was kind of surprised with looking at some stats that North Park usually has a pretty strong, very strong at the service line. I've only seen one ace, so it's been very, very encouraging for the Thunder not to be going such long runs. Unlike on, was it Friday, with one girl had a 10-point run.
Moore handles that serve. Irwin swinging down the line, and that one catches a piece deep. And the Thunder back within 2.
Very nice swing by Irwin. Get another kill. The ball just flew right by the Viking defense.
So Thornton back in the game, and she'll be the one serving. Handled by Garcia. Swing on the slide from Allstrand. Moore was able to pass it, but nobody getting underneath that one for the Thunder, and the Vikings back up by 3.
Now we see Allstrand run a new route with a 6 right there, with a 6, and the Thunder were able to get a few touches on it, but weren't able to fully control it.
Meyer back to serve for the Vikings. Boss handles that one. Swing by Irwin. Now tipped over by Krieger. Thornton trying to get it over on 2 with the setter dump. And a deep swing from Krieger will sail over the block. 23-21 Vikings.
Very nice job by the Thunder to keep, just to watch the ball, watch it to the line, and make sure the ball is going out. And they were able to get another point.
Bolris back to serve for the Thunder. Something of a service specialist for this Wheaton team. Garcia handles that one. Set to the outside for Wiltsey, and she mishits that. And the Thunder only down by 1.
Yep, only down by 1. Bolris with the serve. It's a nice pass. Looks like the set may have been outside the antenna a little bit too far, and she tried to adjust to keep the ball alive, but wasn't able to.
Bullrich serving again. Once again goes right at Garcia. Outside for Wiltsey, and she puts that one in deep corner on the far side.
Yep, finding those back corners, which have been open spots for both sides. It's able to have a nice hang time. Looking at this replay, nice approach, hang up there, good contact, find the end of the back of the court.
Service right at Bullrich. Potts swinging on the slide. That will be overpassed. Boss is there, now sent outside to Moore. Tips that one over. Deep swing down the line. Everybody on the Vikings looking around, but no touch called off the block. And we'll see the second timeout taken by Coach Natalie Dietz.
Yeah, the last play, the ball just sails right over the block and out of bounds.
So set point here for the Vikings, up 24-23, and neither side with any timeouts left. So this one will just be decided on the court wholly. Coaches aren't going to be able to take the time to make adjustments if this goes into extra points.
Yeah, it's just going to be down to the players on the court whose mindset in this opportunity where the game is so close, you have to have that set being in the game every point, 1 point at a time. You can't look at the second set until you win the first one. Also, I think I might have an update for Augustana and Elmhurst. Augustana currently is up 19-18 in the first set.
So a close match there between two teams in the middle of the CCIW, looking to get back into that playoff picture. North Central, remember, 1-1 the CCIW, facing off with the #1 team, Milliken. So you can assume if North Central loses, they're down to 2-1, and whoever wins that Augustana-Elmhurst match will be at 2-1 as well. So it'll come down to tiebreaker categories.
Lots of tiebreakers, and that's been the history in the CCIW. It's always amazing how many games it comes to the very last one of who's going to make the tournament. In the past, Augustana, Elmhurst have always been contenders for the CCIW tournament, and
nice effort by the Thunder there, but unable to keep that one alive. You see good scrappy defense. Couldn't tell if it was Moore or Brown who got a touch on that after the tip. It was Moore.
Yeah, very nice effort just to keep the ball alive.
Yeah, so the Thunder fall in the first set, 25-23, but as we talked about before the match, pretty much what you can expect from these sides. They played a really tight match last year with the first set going, I think you said 28-26.
Yeah, so
second one, however, did go a little bit worse for the Thunder. It was 25-16. So we'll see if the Thunder can bounce back from that. It's always tough to lose in the final points like that.
Actually, they took the second set 25-16.
So we'll see if they can bounce back like they did last year.
So basically, it comes down to what adjustments both sides are going to make. We saw some very good things from the Thunder with their block, with some good routes ran. And honestly, just clean up a few little areas here and there, and we can see some wins for a few sets for the Thunder.
Yeah, both teams looking very strong on the defensive side, especially. That's something that we mentioned as a key early on as we got ready to go. So we'll see what the numbers are.
Also, looking at like when you mentioned the defense, very strong defense. I was also very impressed on how the block and the passers in the back row were connected. You can see a very hard ball go past the blockers, but it was a nice clean dig by the defense, usually such as the Vikings libero. You think this is such a hard hit. Why was she able to dig it? Channeling the ball. Each defense is set in a way where the block takes a certain part of the court, and then the passers in the back row take another part. So both sides doing well with that.
And the dig numbers off the charts from both sides. 29 total digs for the Vikings, 23 for the Thunder. Both teams with a player with 8 digs. It's Lauren Wiltsey for the Vikings, and it's Jess Boss for the Thunder. Yeah, I mean, that's something that we were on the lookout as we came into this match, and it has not disappointed so far. A defensive struggle.
Yeah. Also, looking at the blocks, it's pretty close. 2 blocks for the Thunder with 1 block for North Park. It's a little deceiving because we have seen quite a few times where the block was slowing down the ball, which allowed for the defense to keep the ball alive. Because you got to give that block a little bit more credit.
Yeah, and you don't really get to see the credit for the blocks on the stat sheet. You see only 2 blocking attempts serves for the Vikings and 4 for the Thunder, and only 2 team blocks for the Thunder and just 1 for the Vikings. So you're right, you cannot forget about the factor that plays not only when they get a touch, but also when they give only a certain avenue for the hitter to take and channels it right towards the defense.
Also, many times we saw, such as North Park, they had a solid block. You'd think it hit the floor, but the Thunder were able to cover extremely well and just keep the ball alive. So it's amazing what stats do not tell you what happened during a game.
So both teams back out onto the court waiting for lineup checks. Then we can get the second set underway. We'll see if we get another close one like we did in set number 1, or if it's looking more like last season where the second set turned into a blowout. Ribero's taking the court. Thunder are going to be the ones to serve to get things started here in the second set. When everybody's ready, it'll be Kelly Thornton back as Boss takes the court.
I'm trying to get another update from Augustana Elmhurst, but a little technical difficulty.
That's going to be a good game to keep an eye on. It'll give a good picture of the early CCIW playoff picture.
Yep.
Meyer sets this one outside. Wiltsey swinging deep down the line, keeps that one in, and the Vikings jump out to a 1-0 lead.
Nice kill by Wiltsey as we're looking at the replay. Ball set to the outside. Big approach. Quick arm swing and finds the back of the court.
Moore handles that serve, swung on by Rohrer. Hard cross court, finds a hole in the defense.
And Rohrer also finds the back of the court, which has been a vulnerable spot for both teams. Nice set by Thornton, just on her knees, able to get it to the outside.
So Bolris back to serve for the Thunder. Riccolo can't handle that one though, ran up on her, almost got her in the chin. Yep. And ace serve from Jackie Bolris put the Thunder on top.
Nice aggressive serve by Bolris. Puts the Vikings defense on their heels. Nice ace for her.
Bolris sends this one in. Garcia handles it. Swung on out of the middle by Allstrand and just barely gets that one off the block that was not sealed all the way.
Another kill for Allstrand. She runs a J on the side out. Waits, runs after it, slide. That was actually a really good play because that's usually very difficult, especially with the setter at the 10-foot line. She has to set it over the hitter's shoulder.
So Meyer on the serve, pot swing out of the middle, and some confusion from the Viking defense after that one went off the block.
Potts was able to get the kill. Very nice pass, able to set the middle. She gets it past the block. Also, for Augustana Elmhurst, Augustana is up 23-22 in the first set.
That one looking like it's going to have a tight ending like we saw here, and a really smart play from Ellie Brown, realizing that the defense was completely out of their formation and just sending that overpass deep into the court, as you see here, away from everybody.
Yeah, but they were trying to cover the ball, and nowhere out. They were so close to the net that Brown was able to be alert and hit to the back of the court where no one was.
And a good swing by Madeline Moore. Gets that one through the Viking block, and the Thunder matching their largest lead of the night, up 5-2.
Yep, up by 3. Nice job by Moore to tool off the block and get another point.
Garcia with the pass. Swung on by Wiltsey on the combination. Now Rohrer from the outside into the block, and nobody there to track it down from the Thunder.
As we look in the replay, North Park runs a little different route. Nice job by Thornton to keep the ball alive, and Boss to come in and be the setter. Just the block was there.
Wiltsey on the serve. Moore with a beautiful pass right to Thornton. The Vikings there to pick it up. Krieger sends that one across, and Moore, a little bit of a miss hit there, not enough on it to tip it over the block, just goes into the net instead.
Just not quite enough power to get it over. Looked like it might have been a little bit surprised her.
And Bolris struggling there at the serve from Wiltsey. Can't pop that one up.
Nice serve by Wiltsey. Like I said earlier, North Park does have a nice strong serving nice strong servers. Do very well at the serving line.
Allstrand tips that one over, but Boss is there to pass it. Moore covers herself. Swung on the outside by Peralta. And miscommunication from the Thunder defense, and that one drops in the middle of a whole group of them.
Both sides were just doing a little few different things besides hitting the ball super hard, just tipping it over, and North Park decided to tip it and just landed on the Thunder side.
Wiltie sets this one up. Swung on by Krieger. And Moore swinging right into the block, and that will go off the hands into the antenna. Point Thunder, and they're able to stop the 4-0 Viking run.
Nice pass by Thornton. Boss with the back set. And the ball hits the block, but it rolls on the tape to hit the antenna, and the last hand to hit it was a North Park player. So the point does go to Thunder.
Alicia Funk into the game to serve for the Thunder. Riccolo handles that one. Quick set to the backside, but Allstrand can't get it around the block. And the Thunder back on top by 1.
She had a good idea to try to tip it where the Thunder block was not, but didn't have enough power behind it to get it over the net. And it looked like the Thunder and one of the Thunder defense was ready for it.
The brief delay as Boss wipes up some moisture off the court. It'll be Funk to serve once again. Funk trying to drop that one in short, doesn't miss by much, but the top tape knocks it back toward the Thunder side.
There's about maybe 1 or 2 inches more, and probably could have been an ace.
Allstrand to serve for the Vikings. Funk trying to set backside, accidentally sets Peralta for the Vikings. And good job by Peralta on a heads-up play to take advantage of that.
Yeah, the ball was going a little bit too quickly into net, and Funk was trying to get it set before it hit the tape, but wasn't quite able to control it.
Funk going right back to Moore on the right side, and she tips that one over the block and in.
But she bounces back and has a nice, beautiful back set, and Moore with the strategic idea just to tip it over. I believe the Vikings were ready for a nice hard swing, because she has had quite a few tonight.
And that'll be Moore back to serve for Wheaton. Right at Riccolo. Peralta swinging the Boss there to handle the dig. Irwin looking deep corner. Nice pass by Wiltie. Another rally between these two teams. Wiltie keeps that one alive. Brown out of the middle, still alive by the Thunder as Boss tips it over. Now outside for Peralta. Dug by Boss. Irwin trying to drop it in short, but handled by Wiltie. Now Krieger swinging, trying to find the hard cross, but that one misses out wide. And the Thunder with a big momentum point, going up by 2.
Long rally, which equals more energy going into just that 1 point. Very good defense by both sides, scrappiness. And it just comes down to whether the ball stays in bounds or not.
Swinging out of the middle now, Clinton, and another one of those J sets that we've seen a lot of out of this Viking squad will tie this game up at 9.
Yeah, we've seen Allstrand run quite a few J's, and this time we see Clinton do it. And that was a picture-perfect J right there.
Hua Pham back to serve. Looking deep. Irwin there. Brown out of the middle. Riccolo on the pass. Peralta into the block, but covers herself. And Deborah Smith going to get called for a double contact there. Not ready to set that one.
Just caught her off guard a little bit. Also, going back to Augustana, they are currently tied at, actually, Augustana is up 29-28, still in the first set.
Well, that one going into extra points as the Vikings go up by 2 here. Hua Pham on a bit of a service run.
A little bit. Nice pass. Just wasn't quite able to get over the net.
This time, the Thunder ready for the deep serve. Run this one to the back line, and it is out. Thunder back within 1.
Another point, and we still have a very close match.
Brown, a hard float serve, gets past Riccolo. Vikings have to pass it over. Outside for Irwin, rolls hard cross, picked up by Wiltie. Funk unable to handle that one off the block, and the Vikings back up by 2.
That was a good effort by Funk to lay it out and try to keep the ball alive, but falls in the court, and it's another Viking point.
Garcia on the service line for the Vikings. Irwin with the pass. Out to Irwin. Swings on this one, sends it deep. Out of the middle now, Clinton. Good pickup by Funk. Smith tips it over. Wiltsey on the outside. That one off the block and out of play. Point Vikings.
Thunder tried to tip it here, and the Vikings were able to get the point, keep the ball alive. And the Vikings hitter was able to tool it off the Thunder's block, which appeared to be pointing out of bounds.
Moore swings out of the back row and just rolls this one over. Backside for Clinton on the slide. Smith with a nice cover to get a piece of that one, but nobody there for the second touch. Vikings up by 4, and we'll see a timeout from Coach Schmidt.
Yep, that was a nice play run by North Park just to have, they've been establishing their middles very well tonight. We've seen many different plays, that slides, 6s, Js, 3s, 1s. It's always fun when, actually in my days as a middle, it was always fun just running something completely different almost every point.
We're taking a look around the CCIW down in Decatur. Milliken, after taking the first set, lead North Central by a score of 12-2 early on in the second. See if we can get any update from Elmhurst, or from Augustana rather, about what's going on in that one. It was coming down into extra points late in the first set.
Yep, I'm trying to pull that up right now.
Yeah, stats have been a little bit finicky throughout the night, but here the Thunder trailing by 4, Vikings up 1-0. As this timeout starts to wind down, Thunder are going to have to mount a bit of a comeback.
And it appears that Augustana did win the first set 30-28, and they are currently in between sets.
That's a huge momentum win right there. You often see first sets be close like that, and then the losing team can just kind of get deflated, and you'll see a blowout the rest of the time.
Yeah, it depends on the first set. You never really know what the opposing team will do. You could have a scouting report, and all of a sudden a player's not going to be playing that you thought was going to. They're running a different setter strategy, such as a 5-1 or 6-2. You never know. Also, this year I think Elmhurst graduated quite a few some of their starters last year, so they're a little bit, haven't been as good as we usually see them, but they are a team that knows how to win. So we'll see how they come back in the second set.
The Thunder able to break Brittany Garcia's service run.
Yep, with a nice tip by Emily Potts, clearly seeing that the front part of the court is open.
It'll be Thornton back to serve now for Wheaton. Thornton sends this one over. Garcia with the pass. Clinton swing out of the middle. Thornton did a good job being in the right position to get a touch on that one, but couldn't keep it alive, so the Vikings back on top by 5.
We have seen very good defense by both Thornton and Funk. Funk with great coverage, Thornton being in the right place to get many different digs.
Rohrer on the swing, going hard cross, picked up by the Vikings. Wiltsey forced to just pass this one over. Overpass from Moore gives the Vikings a reset. Wiltsey on the swing. Nice dig by Moore, but once again, nobody there for the second touch. And both Boss and Thornton were chasing it down, but couldn't quite get there.
Yeah, that was a nice dig by Moore. As we can see, the block wasn't ready. So that was a great reading reaction by Moore just to try to keep a touch on there.
And now a service ace from Kelly Clinton of the Vikings.
Yeah, Kelly Clinton actually is currently, for overall statistics, 5th in the CCIW with aces per set with about 0.45%. So she does have a strong serve.
And not something that you always see from a middle blocker. It's usually you see them focusing on what's going on at the net.
True, but also from personal experience, middles, when our defense is doing serve receive, it's usually the middles who are serving.
Lots of work there for the middles, you are correct. We'll see Jackie Bolris enter the game for the Thunder. She goes back to the line to serve. Goes right at Riccolo. Myers sets Allstrand out of the middle. Bolris there to get a touch on it. But Boss can't chase down the second.
Another middle kill for the Vikings. Very nice placement. Another J. finds the court. Also, with the Vikings, Meyer is third in the CCIW overall for assists per set with 7.32. So very good setter, which can be seen by how well she sets her and how well the middles are getting kills.
19-13 here in the second set. Thunder trying to mount a comeback. Boss back on the service line. Garcia chases that one down, gets it over and in. Now swung on out of the middle by Brown. Good cover by Bolris. And Thornton with a nice play. Sets that one over on the second touch.
Nice job by the Thunder to take advantage of this free ball that the Vikings had to bring over. Nice coverage again. And Thornton decided to be a little tricky, and the Vikings were on their heels.
Garcia picks up that serve. Welty swinging out of the middle on the combination.
Seems that the Vikings wanted a touch on the play, but it appears that the ball just was no touch and it went out of bounds. A nice job by Thornton to not touch it.
Boss sends this one in. Riccolo with the pass, but Allstrand a little early coming into the middle. Can't connect with Meyer, and as the Thunder draw within 3, Natalie Dietz is going to take a timeout.
Yeah, it's amazing actually with the middle and setter connections. There's such quick tempo passes that there isn't that much time to adjust for balls like it is on the right side and the outside. The outside you see that ball coming toward you, have maybe 1 or 2 seconds to look at it. For a middle, it's instantaneous.
Yeah, especially because a lot of teams, when they're trying to get even quicker running a 1 tempo or a C tempo, sometimes want the middle up before the ball sets. So if the set's not where you expect it to be, you got no shot.
There is a lot of trust going on, especially on threes. You're trusting that your setter is going to put it right where you need the ball to be. And also on one, sometimes they have a little slower tempo where you hit it as it's at a peak. Some teams like to have it where the ball, as soon as that ball's out of the hands, clears the net, you just swing it down.
Yeah, I think that's something that may be a little bit more common in the men's game. Just about every team I've ever played on has had the middle up as the ball is in the setter's hands. If you're a middle and you're not up before that ball's set, you're probably not going to play.
Yeah, and your libero may not like you.
The Boss back to serve once again. Thunder trail by 3, 19-16 in set number 2. Garcia passes that one. Allstrand out of the middle. Bolris with a nice read to get a touch on it, but can't control it into the court.
Threes are very hard to play defense on, especially when the block is not quite there. Nice job by Bolris to get the touch. And also, like we were mentioning earlier about how the set has to be right there for a 3, it was there.
Rohrer swings on this one out of the back row. Krieger pass. And Peralta swinging into the block, and the Thunder getting that one back.
Yeah, Thunder had to just send the ball over, wasn't able to get a super hard kill. But the block was able to line up. Very nice time, finds the floor.
Funk back to serve now for Wheaton. Riccolo with the pass. Really tight to the net, swung on cross court. Boss is there. Now Moore looking for that deep corner. Ooh, and that one did not miss by much.
Probably maybe an inch. That was extremely close.
It'll be Allstrand, the Vikings leader in aces, back to serve, 21-17.
Yeah, she's currently second in the CCIW for overall in the season with about half an ace per set.
Wiltsey with the pass, swung on by Krieger. Bolris is there. Now Moore looking deep off Allstrand and out of play. Thunder draw back within 3.
Nice job by the Thunder nice job by Bolris to read the hitter. Yeah, nice dig. Nice set. And another kill.
Now Moore back to serve. Riccolo. Swung on by Clinton, but there's going to be a Thunder player in the net. Moore was able to keep that one alive. And it's going to be Deborah Smith called for the violation.
Yeah, with threes such as that, the ball is coming so quickly that you have to have your block up very fast as well. Sometimes you jerk super quickly and it hits, then you find your hands hitting the tape.
Coach Schmidt's going to take another timeout here as the Thunder trail by 4 at a critical point, 22-18. Thunder going to need to make something happen quickly if they want to even this game up at a set apiece.
Yes. I'm curious what Coach Schmidt will have this time around, if they're going to change anything up or are they going to just try to clean up a few of those errors. A few balls have gone out of bounds, and a little bit of miscommunication a few times on a few of these rallies.
Yeah, a lot of it, though, can be attributed to the defense of the Vikings.
That's very true, too.
They're in the right spot almost every time. That's something that we kind of saw coming beforehand, seeing that they, coming into this match, they had 880 digs on the season, add the 29 from the first set. That puts them up to 909, not even counting what we're seeing just in this one.
Yeah, they do have a very strong defense. If you keep the ball up, you're more likely to get a point.
Huafam back to serve for the Vikings. Drops this one in on Boss. Outside, tipped over by Schweiderich. Now deep tip, that one will be in. Moore can't track it down, and the Vikings extend to 5 points.
A little miscommunication on the play, but Schweiderich was able to keep the ball over, and the Vikings were just able to take advantage of it with a nice throw tip to the back corner.
Huafam serving once again, goes at Schweiderich. Now out of the middle is Brown. Huafam with the set. Good job concentrating and not doubling on that ball. Now backside, Smith tipping this one down into the middle of the court. The Thunder back within 4.
That was a nice hard tip for Smith. Finds that there's a little bit opening in the court, throws it down. Also, update for Augustana and Elmhurst, they're tied at 8 in the second set.
And so another close one so far out in Rock Island. Meyer sends us outside for Peralta. Good read by Brown. Smith swinging from the right side, a little help from the net, but that one's in, the Thunder within 3.
Smith is able to hit a little bit harder this time for another kill. That was actually a nice dig by Brown. Look at the middle getting some digs right there.
It'll be Brown serving again. Right at Riccolo. Peralta with the swing into the block and out of play completely over at the scorer's table. So we'll see set point from the Vikings.
And the Vikings were able to take advantage of the Thunder's block. They weren't quite up in the air as the hitter was in the air. So as the block is coming up, the ball is hit and it hits the Thunder's hands and sails out of bounds.
Brittany Garcia to serve for the set for the Vikings, an overpass, but Potts is able to recover. Smith just barely tips this one over the top of the block. Welty swinging, and she pounds that one deep to the back line, and the Vikings are able to take set 2.
It was a nice job by Smith just to keep the ball alive because that ball was extremely tight. Man, the Vikings were able to get another kill.
Yeah, Welty doing a good job of rising up there and finding the hole in the block. So the Thunder got some work to do once again. We see them try to come back from an 0-2 deficit. We saw this happen at Mount Union. We bring this up a lot, but it's definitely something that this Thunder team's capable of.
Yes, it's very hard to come back from down 0-2. It is possible. We've seen it, and we hope it will happen again. And we'll see what adjustments Coach Schmidt will make this time around.
As we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, both teams out here tonight looking for their first CCIW win to kind of get back into that middle pack that includes Augustana and Elmhurst. Could even jump up to 5th or 6th in the conference with a win tonight based on all the different tiebreakers that you have to go through when teams have similar conference schedules, or similar conference records rather. So we'll be able to get a good look at that after all the matches conclude tonight. It seems like Milliken is going to be able to take care of business at home against a pretty good North Central team, and that could put North Central out of the top 4 so far.
Could possibly. Since every team has to play everyone in the conference, it leads to some very interesting scenarios. And also, we've got some stats from the second set.
Once again, lots of digs for each side. The Vikings up to 46 on the set, Thunder up to 37 on the match. Both teams with 2 blocks. But you really see the differences in kill percentage.
Very much so. Both teams did increase their kill percentage. North Park is hitting 324 and the Thunder hitting 222.
On the match, Vikings at 253 compared to the Thunder 151. And that's something that we've seen the Thunder struggle with a lot. Too many hitting errors will bring that number way down. And you see 23 kills to 10 errors for the Thunder so far on 86 attempts. And on the other side, you have 34 kills to just 12 errors on 87 attempts.
Yeah, the same amount of attempts. It's just, what do you do when you have the ball? There were a few times that the Thunder would roll the ball over the net, which would count as an attempt. Then we've seen the North Park have some very strong attempts at swinging.
Yeah, it really seemed like they're playing with more confidence, swinging away every time, not worrying about whether the block's there, trusting their defense to cover them around.
Yes. Also, we have seen them mix it up too. We've seen throws down the line. We've seen for both sides they've used that back corner and also the middle of the court too, because we have seen both sides be on their heels, and if you're quick enough, you can find that floor.
The Thunder taking their time out of this break. Clock inside 5 seconds. So the Thunder are going to have to take the court at some point.
At some
They're
point.
going to be forced to.
They have one more second.
So both teams making their way out.
All right, Thunder fans, make some noise here for set number 3.
Set number 3, moments away from getting started. Down referee checking each lineup. And Thunder basketball assistant coach John Panner trying to get the crowd fired up.
Yep.
Decent crowd for one of these midweek games.
Yes.
Thunder students always so focused on their academics they don't always see a lot of them attending athletic events midweek. You'll get a good turnout on a Friday or Saturday game, but
yeah,
Tuesday, Wednesday's a little harder.
It is a little bit harder. We had quite a. The stands were almost full on Friday, so that was a cool environment. But yes, us Wheaton students with our academics.
Brittany Garcia to start things off for the Vikings. Sends this one deep and out. Boss chases it down to the back line and lets it fly by.
Nice job by Boss, backing up to the line, lets it go. She probably heard one of her teammates telling her it was out.
Yeah, good communication from the Thunder back line.
Communication is very key in volleyball, especially when the ball is coming so fast.
Bolris back to serve. Goes at Garcia. Huafam sets the outside for Wiltsey. Deep tip, and that's a really good spot. Not a whole lot Bolris could do about that.
Very good spot. Wiltsey, she's been very creative with her shots. We've seen sharp cross. We've seen to the back corner and then also down the line.
And a service ace from Kelly Clinton as Boss couldn't track the float serve down.
One of the Vikings' best servers with Clinton. As we see on the replay, there was no spin on that ball, so it was knuckling very well.
Moore picks this one up. Thornton sets Rohrer. Good cover by Bolris. Now Moore swinging hard cross court, off the block and out.
Moore has had very good success with that sharp cross. We had a very picture-perfect set from Thornton with no spin whatsoever. And Moore had a nice thumb down, sharp cross kill.
Boss drops this one in short. Garcia handles it. And then Allstrand swinging on the J, and Brown's going to be caught in the net, so point Vikings.
As we're looking at the replay, short serve. You see Allstrand going with that J. And they call the Thunder in the net, even though the ball went out of bounds. So the point goes to the Vikings.
Meyer back to serve. Moore handles it, sets backside for Brown. Blocked down by the Vikings, with the Thunder able to keep it alive. Boss sets it over. Wiltsey with the pass. And Wiltsey with the swing off the block and in.
Nice job by Wiltsey to have a power through the block. The Thunder just have to free ball it over. Wiltsey with the pass. Sets it back out to her. The block wasn't quite sealing the net yet, so she was able to take advantage of it.
Swinging out of the middle there is Brown. She tips that one down past the block. So
Nice.
Thunder pick one back up.
Very good adjustment by Brown because the ball was very tight in the net. She had to almost reach over the net just to bring it down. But luckily, the center of the court was wide open.
Funk back to serve. Pass by Krieger. Outside for Wiltsey. Swinging into the block. Garcia there to cover, but nobody for the second touch.
Very nice block again for the Thunder. Looking at the replay, it was a very nice, planned out play by the Vikings, but the block was right there. And the ball goes straight down.
Wiltsey passes the serve from Funk. Nice adjustment by Allstrand on that slide.
Very good.
Smith from the right side picked up. Now Moore on an inside set. Myers there. Garcia will set the right side. Krieger. And another one of these long rallies. We've seen a lot of them tonight. Moore swinging. No touch off the block. And there'll be 4 contacts called against the Thunder. Point Vikings.
Nice job by Boss to run through the ball. Funk to get out to the outside. I think it went over Moore's shoulder a little bit and wasn't able to get a nice clean swing on it.
Funk sets the right side. Moore with a nice swing off the hands of Peralta and out.
Moore does bounce back to get another kill. Nice pass by Boss. Funk with a nice back set from the past the 10-foot line, and they're able to tool off the Vikings block.
Moore back to serve now for Wheaton. Going right at Riccolo. Good cover by Peralta. Just sends that one over. Irwin is there. Now swung on out of the middle by Brown. And the pass out of play off of Allstrand. And the Thunder on top by 1.
Very nice job of the Thunder to take advantage of that chaotic free ball that was sent over to them. Run the middle, quick tempo. Try to take the Vikings a little bit off guard.
Moore right at Riccolo again. She handles that one this time. Boss on the set. Outside for Smith. Tight set, joust at the net. Good pickup by Boss. Backside for Smith. That's going to be a double contact called on Funk. And that one, I think, due mostly to the spin off the ball.
Yeah. I was a little bit confused of what was going on since it was going so quickly. They must have done. It was pretty close. And Coach Schmidt questions that call.
Coach Schmidt grabbing the attention of the down ref to ask a question about whether it was actually a double or they were just judging it off spin, which it's a fair question. The coaches are going to ask that one just about every time. But the Thunder pick it back up. Nice swing from Irwin on the left side.
They don't let that call get to them. Set the outside. Gets a kill.
Brown back to serve. Hard float, but that one ducks down into the middle of the net.
And we're tied at 7. So this, in all 3 sets so far, it has been very close early on. It just comes down to what happens later on past point 16.
Yeah, last set, Vikings able to pull away a little bit. This time it looks much better for the Thunder. They look a little bit better on defense, as you see there. Covered by Potts, picked up by Smith, but nobody there to send it over.
The Vikings were able to cover the ball that Potts tipped over. The tool off for Peralta. The block wasn't quite sealing the net. They were straight up, so it was a prime target for a tool.
Irwin swinging hard down the line. Great touch from Riccolo, but nobody on the receiving end for the Vikings, and the Thunder tie things up at 8.
Nice job by Irwin getting another kill, going back to the hitter who's been pretty successful all night. Gets a kill off the Vikings libero.
Thornton back to serve for Wheaton. Sends it deep. Potts sets Rohrer on the right side, handled by Riccolo. The Thunder have a free ball opportunity, and Potts with a nice throw sends that one deep into the corner.
That was a nice job. We didn't see on the replay, but Thornton read the ball was coming very fast to the net, anticipating that the setter would dump it over. She does. She gets a nice pass up, and Potts gets a kill.
Slide by Clinton, picked up by Thornton. And nice swing from Irwin going sharp cross, and Peralta can't handle that one.
Nice job by Irwin getting the 3rd kill in this stretch. Very nice adjustment. She's a left-handed outside hitter, which is kind of unusual, but able to adjust well, get a nice sharp cross.
And a really nice short serve there from Madeline Moore, dropping that one inside the 10-foot line. And with the Thunder up 3, Natalie Dietz going to take another timeout.
Yes, that was a nice ace by Moore, and it pulls the Thunder actually ahead 11-8.
We've seen the Thunder trying to go for that short serve a few times tonight, and that's by far the best one we've seen.
Very good. If you're probably the strategy they're having behind the short serve is North Park does establish their middles very often. In order to actually have effective middle swings, you have to have a good pass. If they can make a hard short serve that takes the middle out of rotation, it makes it easier on the block because then they're deciding, okay, is it going to go to the right side or is it going to go to the outside?
And back down in Decatur, Milliken won set number 2, currently leads 6-4 in the third, looking to sweep the North Central Cardinals.
Also for Elmhurst and Augustana, Elmhurst is currently leading 19-16 in the second set.
So that one staying close and moving really slow. Every other CCIW game in the third set, but obviously that one took a little longer in the first set when you played a 30.
Yeah, and also if you're going back and forth, give or take every point. Because in the first set, they played almost 60 points.
Yeah. Thornton sends this one over. Swung on by Clinton, and nobody there off the block. So the Vikings get one back and draw within 2.
The Vikings have been taking advantage of the Thunder's block by a nice hard swing and looking at their hands. When you're hitting a ball, especially in volleyball, it's difficult to do, but if you can look at what the block is doing, taking advantage of. So the first thing you can't see the back of the court as well, but you can see the hands.
A really strong serve from the Vikings, more unable to handle it. And it was Garcia, and she'll go back for another. Garcia goes at Boss this time. Thornton sets Irwin out of the middle. And off the block and in, Huafam couldn't track it down.
Very nice play by the Thunder with the stack on this. So we see Potts running a 3, Irwin coming with a 2. I think the block may have been looking at Potts a little bit more, but Irwin comes in, twirls off the block.
Bolris back to serve for the Thunder, and Clinton shielded Garcia for most of that one. It drops down and hits Garcia in the foot.
I'm curious about the spin on this ball. Let's see.
My guess is very little.
Very little. It just drops.
Yeah, you can see at the end of that one, the bottom drops out of it and catches Garcia off guard and hits her in the ankle. And now the Vikings looking a little out of sorts, unable to handle the serve from Bolris as she picks up her second straight ace.
Bolris has a very strong jump float serve, which just like in baseball with a knuckleball has the same effect. It floats crazy and even the server doesn't know what's going to happen.
And once again, Garcia can't really handle that one. Free ball from the Vikings. Thunder play it out of the middle. Set over off the block. Good cover. Thornton kept that one alive, sending it over. Now Wilty swinging deep. Boss is there. More on the left side. Right into Huafam. Deflected out of play. Thunder up by 5.
Nice job for the Thunder. Nice pass by Boss. Reading it very well. And we see more with the kill.
Coach Dietz unhappy for the Vikings. She calls her second timeout of the set. Thunder, I believe this is their largest lead of the match, 15-10 here in set number 3.
We had a nice run by Bolris with a couple aces, putting the Vikings out of system quite a few times.
And with a Thunder team that has struggled so much in serve receive this season, it's good to see them getting a service run of their own on the home court.
That's very nice. We've seen a couple of aces from different players. I believe Moore had one earlier on. Boris just had a couple. And we're up by 5.
Looking ahead in the Thunder schedule, tomorrow night right here in King Arena, they face off against Aurora University, and then they go into a stretch of 7 straight home games, or 7 straight road games, pardon me, before finally finishing their season at home against Carthage on October 31st.
Yeah, it's been nice having the Thunder at home since at the beginning of the year they had quite a few on the road games. We have one more home game tomorrow, and before the long stretch, and then the final game of the season is home against Carthage.
Bolris with another serve. Wilty on the swing. Potts covers her own block. Outside for more. She tips it deep, but that one too strong. And the Vikings end Bolris' service run, 15-11.
Nice job by Potts to get a touch on the ball and keep the ball alive. Moore had a great idea of getting that back corner. It just went out of bounds.
Oh my, Katie Rohr putting that one straight down on the C set.
That was very good. We see a stack going here with Potts on a 1, Rohr on the 2. Potts is able to be the distraction for the block, and Rohr is able to come in.
That was unbelievable. Meyer sends this one outside. Wiltsey with a really smart tip going sharp corner.
Very strategically placed with Moore sucking in behind the block, almost behind the block. She sees that the side court of where the outside is usually hitting is wide open and tips it right there.
And a service ace from the Vikings that gets deflected.
And I believe that was Meyer with the ace.
That was. She'll go back for another. Thornton sets outside for Moore. Rolls it at Garcia. Meyer setting the middle. Picked up by Boss. Thunder trying to match the middle again. Now Wiltsey going deep. Bolris got a touch on it, but couldn't pop that one up in the air, and the Vikings draw within 2.
The timing is a little bit off. The set was shot a little bit high, so Brown had nothing else to do but tip it over. And then the Vikings changed it up by setting the outside.
Set backside for Rohrer, but picked up by Riccolo. Now Wiltsey swinging off the block, and the Vikings now draw within 1 as a part of a 5-1 run.
Yes, Riccolo had a very nice dig with them being able to, the block able to channel Rohrer's hit right to her, and they were able to convert it on a point.
So Coach Schmidt gonna take another timeout here as the Vikings are pretty close to tying this one up. The Thunder led by as many as 5 just a few minutes ago, but a service run from Meyer, as we mentioned on so many of these broadcasts, serve receive killing the Thunder all season.
Yeah, it's also with serve receive, it is an area of momentum, such as with the Vikings are able to have the momentum of a nice strong serve. Once a server gets in a groove of a serve, they just keep going, and it's up to the other side to make the adjustment to get a side out.
The Thunder pretty quick out of the timeout. Can't imagine Coach Schmidt had all too much to say other than, hey, 1 pass, 1 set, side out.
Pretty much. It only takes 1 point.
Meyer back to serve once again. The sophomore from Aurora, Colorado, Cherry Creek High School. Moore with the pass, set backside for Rohrer, swung into the net, good cover. Thornton keeps that one alive and sets it over. Meyer outside for Wiltsey, off the block and in once again. We're all tied up at 16.
Very quick tempo sets. It was a tight ball. Nice job by Thornton to keep the ball alive, and then Wiltsey is able to get a kill through the hole in the block.
The Thunder get one back, go back up by a point.
And it's now 17-16.
Leisha Funk into the game and heading back to the line to serve. Garcia steps up to handle that one. And a double off the hands of Meyer will get the Thunder a 2-point lead.
Yeah, we have another double is called. The ball was getting tied to the net, and we see that the setter is trying to set the outside, and you see her right hand go up a little higher than the left.
Funk once again serving at Garcia. Outside for Wiltsey, off the block, picked up by Bolris. Now Moore swinging on that one, and the Thunder will pick up another point. Moore just powering that ball straight through the block on a tight set.
She only had 1 block on the outside. We see her running at 32 because Brown was able to keep the middle at bay, so Moore only had 1 on the outside.
Another short serve from Funk. Wiltsey out of the middle. Bolris gets an arm on that one. Garcia sets that one for Wiltsey inside, and she sends that one off the block and out. Vikings back within 2.
Yeah, that was a great effort by Boss to keep the ball alive, sends back on the Viking side, but they were able to take advantage of it.
Funk sets this one to Moore backside. A nice pancake by Wiltsey. Now swung on by Moore into the block and straight down.
One thing about the Vikings, they go after the ball, get a nice pancake, and then their block takes care of it. Perfectly lined up, go straight down.
Moore with the pass, now swinging out of the middle, but she sails that one deep, and we're tied up back at 19.
That was a good idea. Another play run by the Thunder with Brown coming around with the slide, Moore coming in for the 2. The ball just happens to go out of bounds.
Moore tips this one over. Good pickup by Wiltsey. Swung on by Peralta. The block is there. Allstrand picks it up. Bolris on the dig. Funk going outside for more. Tipped off the block. Kept alive by Meyer. Now Peralta swinging cross court. Moore somehow kept that alive, and the Vikings scrambling. Now backside for Smith. Into the block and down. And a huge momentum point for the Thunder, winning the long rally.
Huge momentum point. I kind of thought for a second that was a lift, but as you can see with Smith, powers through the block, goes down, so we have a Thunder point.
Moore back to serve. Riccolo with the pass, and nice swing out of the middle, kept alive by Funk. Boss sends this one deep. Middle again for Allstrand. The Thunder can't cover it off the touch of the block.
Yeah, Funk is able to get a nice dig, but it takes out the Thunder setter, so they are not able to get a play ran. And then the Vikings come in, and a nice kill by...
And the Thunder give that one up. A miscommunication on the set as Brown and Funk can't get the timing quite right. And now Coach Schmidt is going to take her second timeout of the set, and we're out of timeouts on both sides in this third set.
Lots of timeouts been used, lots of adjustments being made because this is such a close game. The Vikings need 4 more points. Wheaton needs 5 more. We're going to see it takes 1 point at a time. And also we have no time involved in volleyball except for timeouts. So it's about who's going to take advantage of the opportunities they have.
And while we have a lull in the action, I'd like to thank Sunrise Communications for making these broadcasts possible, as well as the Sports Information Office here at Wheaton College for giving us all the opportunity to bring you live action from King Arena, and also to my family for trying to distract me by blowing up my phone during this broadcast. Been buzzing pretty much off the hook. Gotta keep it unlocked so that it stops buzzing in my pocket. So that's a good time. Thank you all for that one.
Well, while we're on it, it's my parents' anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
25 years.
That's great.
Mom and Dad, if you're watching it, happy anniversary.
Both teams out of the timeout. It will be Allstrand back to serve, the leading server for the Vikings, and she misses that one deep, and the Thunder are able to tie it back up at 21 apiece.
Crucial points like this with the ball going out of bounds. Nice job by Boss to get to the line and watch the ball go out of bounds.
Brown back to serve, hard float. Wiltsey gets a touch on it. Peralta rolling this one over. Moore is there. Smith on the swing. Now Irwin into the block, covered by Clinton. And Peralta into the block and powers it through. Vikings back on top, 22-21.
We're seeing this trend happen quite often with the hitters just hitting through the block. And sometimes the blockers are able to dig up the ball that they get the touch on, but this time around, it goes right through the block.
Moore passes that one. Irwin on the swing. Wiltsey there to pass it. Peralta swinging cross court. Boss got a touch on it, but couldn't angle it back into the court.
Peralta's had a few kills on this route in the past few rallies. She has a nice cross. Boss does a great job to get a touch on it, but it goes out of bounds.
Irwin with the pass, tipped out of the middle by Potts. Handled by Meyer. Huafam out of the back row. Moore is there. Irwin again. Wiltsey with the dig, and that one just sticking to Meyer's hands when she gets called for the double.
Wiltsey had a great dig on the kill from the attempt by the Thunder, but there was so much spin on that pass, I think it had an effect on the set.
23-22, Vikings on top here in the third set as Thornton goes back to serve. Riccolo gets that one up. Swung on by Clinton out of the middle. Good cover, and the Vikings are going to have match point.
They get a cover on that block and send it back over, and they get a point.
So back to serve on match point is Brittany Garcia for the Vikings. Sends this one over at Irwin. Straight up, Irwin swings. and put away by the setter, Kaja Meyer. And that'll do it for the match. The Vikings win in 3 sets, all of them very close. I think this is the biggest point spread on the match, 25-22.
Yeah, actually the first one was 25-23, but they were all very close.
Yeah, 25-23, 25-20, 25-22. So a hard-fought battle from both sides. The Thunder will fall to 3-13 overall, 0-3 in the CCIW. The Vikings pick up their first conference win, up to 1-2 in the CCIW, and that could put them just 1 game out of the playoff picture. They're 11-6 overall.
Yeah. It's early on in the CCIW. This is the 3rd game probably for most teams, but it does come down to how many games you win. There are some teams that come back from being down, such as 0-3, 1-2. But we'll see. It's going to be an interesting playoff as we see more games being played out, as more teams are being upset. We'll see. And also, once again, this final scores was North Park 3 sets to Wheaton 0 sets. And the scores for the first set, 25-23. The second set was 25-20. The third set was 25-22. And also, looking ahead at what the Thunder's matches, they're going to be playing at home once again against Aurora, which is going to be at 7 p.m. And then they're going to be on the road quite a bit with at Elmhurst on October 6th at 7:30. And then they'll play again at Elmhurst, but it's Audubon on the 7th. And then they'll have a couple of key CCIW matches, such as on October 18th against Illinois Wesleyan. And then Augustana on the 24th, and then the final home game, which will be at home against Carthage. So we're going to be very excited to see the Thunder once again in action tomorrow. And I was thinking we were going to get some stats from the third set, but it doesn't look like it quite yet. But we saw some good things from both sides, lots of good defense and such. And we are going to take it down the floor with Nate, with Coach Schmidt.
Thanks, Hannah. Coach, obviously not the result we were hoping for, but one of the tighter matches that we've seen you play so far. What positives can you take away from this one tonight?
I think we really made adjustments tonight that we've been trying to push to make for the last 2 weeks. So I was proud that that the girls stepped up, took some smarter swings. We had fewer hitting errors. I just think, defensively we weren't quite clicking. Our block wasn't what it normally is. But our serve receive for the most part was strong, and our offensive game was a lot better, so that's a positive for us.
And obviously you guys back in action tomorrow night right here at King Arena against Aurora without a practice between matches. What adjustments are you going to try to have your girls make before you play tomorrow?
Well, we need to shake that one off quickly and get a little bit of sleep. Aurora is a good team. They're receiving some votes for the national top 25 rankings. We really are going to have a much stronger block to give ourselves a chance, and then execute our game plan a little bit earlier in the match to give ourselves a chance to win.
All right, Coach, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks.
There you have it, your final score from King Arena. The Vikings 3, the Thunder 0. Thunder back in action tomorrow night against Aurora University. That will be a 7 p.m. match brought to you on the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network. For Hannah Japp, I'm Nate Stein. Have a good night.